What's up guys, today I'm going to be making a standing desk that's ideal to be mobile. And built into the desk you have an electrical outlet with 2 USB ports to keep everything charged up. And just below the power outlet you have my favorite feature in this build, which is the storage for the power cord. Now the outlet could have been placed just about anywhere, but I thought this location took advantage of the 10-foot cord. And here's another cool feature built into this desk, which is the adjustable neck that allow you to go through different heights. Now this desk is ideal to increase productivity and definitely helping out with that attention span. Best part though, it's a healthy way of working, and there are researchers that shown that standing could also reduce back pains. In my experience, working at a desk can be a bit restless, so anytime I can get outside and enjoy the outdoors, I'm going for it. Most importantly, this should be a great addition in the shop. I'm standing most of the time anyways, so why not have a desk that I can roll around and increase my productivity? And with the small footprint, there's a very little chance I'm going to pack this up with tools. Today's video is brought to you by Blinkist. Discover how you can become a better you with a quick read or just a 15-minute listen. Although I didn't have a clear plan, I had an idea on what I wanted to build, which was a step in the right direction. I started with the leg first, which I built in 2 different parts, then put it all together. I applied wood glue, then I shot a few brad nails to hold everything together while the glue set up. Now you'll want to remove all the glue squeeze out from the inside and the outside because we want to make sure the inside is clear of glue so everything can slide properly. After clamping up the first one, I'll set that to the side, then I'll start with the second one. After a while the glue has set up and now I can go ahead and put the 2 parts together. Now line up the 2 pieces, apply wood glue and shoot a few nails in it. Now you're gonna want to take care of the glue squeeze out from the inside, so whether you have to take a stick with a piece of rag on it, a wet rag at that, you just want to make sure you clear out the opening. Now if you don't do so, you'll more than likely have a problem with your wood sliding on the inside. Now I'm gonna make a smaller version of what I just made, but this one is gonna fit on the inside of that. I made this a tight fit, this way I can sand it down and sneak up on the proper size. The goal is to not have a lot of wobble on there, being that you're gonna have valuables sitting on top of this. To create the desk and keyboard area, I was first going to take like a bucket cover or a bucket to create that arch. Eventually I went away from that option. I didn't feel like I can duplicate that 4 times and get the same outcome. So I drew a line down the center, then I took a protractor and created a half circle. I couldn't find a screw that would have held a pencil in it, so what I did was took the tip of it and scored the wood, then hand traced it with a pencil. I have 2 options for you. You can use a jigsaw to cut this out, or in my case I haven't used my bandsaw in a very long time and this is a perfect application to do so. So I'll cut close to the line and then I'll repeat this for all 4 ends, then I'll take it over to the disc sander and clean it up. With all 4 ends sand down to the line, I can now take the router and give it a quick round over. So I'm going to cut off a section of the leg, and I think this is all based on preference on what's comfortable for you. The top of this is approximately where my keyboard would sit. And with that done, I can now pick a desirable spot for the cabinet outlet. Now there is a few ways you can cut this hole out. You could use a router or you can go this route. There is no real advantage to drilling a large hole as I did. Being that I'm using a jigsaw, a regular 3/8 hole would have worked just fine. Now I do have to warn you, these outlets are really slim, so I'd say you want to sneak up on your final cuts and just cut as tight as possible. I went ahead and did a quick test fit just to make sure I was good before I moved on. Now this outlet have a really long power cord, it's about 10 feet long, and I needed somewhere to store it, so I'm going to channel out a section here just below the outlet. After removing the inside, I then round over the edge and I thought this gave it a really nice look. The base is made from double stacked plywood. So I need to find the center of this and also square up the legs, so I'm going to draw a diagonal line from both sides. I was hoping that this was as simple as the corners lining up on the line. That was really close, but I wanted to double check and make sure I had the proper spacing on all sides. I used a total of 8 screws to attach the leg to the base. But before I can do so, I taped off the bottom section of the leg. This way I can do a round over along the top side of the leg and stop the route a bit near the mark. Since the base of the leg is going into the wood, I wanted to make sure that the corners stayed, that way it can fill in the entire square. So while I'm sanding all of this down, I'm going to take a second to tell you about today's sponsor. So recently I moved on from my full-time job to become a full-time content creator. Though it's been exciting, it's also been a little scary knowing that I'm responsible for everything. My goal is to provide great content but also grow as a person. There's a lot that goes on behind the scene. I definitely want to be a better time manager and also brush up on my communication skills. I recently learned about Blinkist. It's an app that condenses the best insight from thousands of non-fiction books into just 15 minutes of reading or listening. I'd say that's a great thing because that's something I can do while glue is drying or I'm exporting a video. I'm definitely feeling that because I can allocate 15-minute blocks into my day and not even miss a beat. For me, being able to learn something in a short period of time is a great thing and could also be the same for you. For the first 100 people that sign up through blinkist.com/DIY creators or click the link down in the video description, we'll get an unlimited access for 1 week. And if you're loving it, go ahead and take advantage of that 20% off if you decide you want a membership. And a big thanks to Blinkist for being this week's sponsor. It's really important that you get this part correctly and drill the most accurate hole you can. I'm using a bit that's slightly bigger than the bolt. I'm not able to drill all the way through both pieces, so what I'm going to do is drill as much as I can, and wherever the bit stops, then I'll just switch over to my hand drill. So now I'm going to need to stop to prevent the neck from going deeper. I added wood glue and a couple screws to secure it. The next thing is to mark the location for the additional holes. I put 1.5 inches of spacing between each holes. Not everyone have a drill press, and I get that, so I'm going to show you that you can take a couple pieces of scrap wood and create a simple drill jig. Now what you're going to do is use the first hole as a reference. You're going to use that hole and drill right through this jig. Now take the jig and drill the remaining holes. Now it's time to take the leg and install that into the base. Now add pocket hole screws along the base to secure the leg. Apply wood glue and attach the last piece to finish off the base. I went with 2 different type of casters, 2 fixed and 2 swivel. I would recommend just going with all 4 swivel. It just makes things a whole lot easier. So I'm going to determine the height that I think that's good for me, and I'm going to mark a location and cut the neck off. And keep in mind, this is adjustable, it goes up, so this is at the lowest point. And I needed a way to support the keyboard area and also the desk area. So I'm going to wrap the neck with a couple 1x2s and shoot some nail and add wood glue on that, and this should be strong enough to hold it. And I'll repeat the same thing at the top area of the neck, but just make sure it's going in the opposite direction. Just pick a finish of your choice, you can go with whatever you like. I'm going to use a dark gray on the base and also a pecan color on the rest of it. Before applying the stain, I put on a coat of pre-stain conditioner, and what this does is it helps reduce blotchiness in your stain job. To mount these, I need to find the center of it and also the center on the neck. If you want, you can use dowels to install these, or you can go with wood screws and screw them in from the bottom. Once everything is lined up, go ahead and install the screws. I used a 5/16 carriage bolt, and I picked one up that was 6 inch long. I ended up cutting the bolt so that it fit this and didn't extend too much past the nut. I didn't check, but a 5-inch bolt would probably work just fine. Now of course this outlet is not needed, but it's a great feature to have, especially while you're moving around. Just install it, add a couple screws, and snap the plate on. And one of my favorite things on this project is definitely the holding area for the power cord. And just in case you were wondering, yeah, you could take the top section off and take it to the couch. So let's talk price. It all depends on what you have currently. If you had to go purchase all of the material for this project, you're looking at around $98. If you build a desk as is, you're looking at around a day and a half to 2 days worth of labor. And of course you can customize it to your liking. Now I literally had to stop myself so I can finish the project because the ideas were spewing, and I was thinking about adding a location for a tablet. I was thinking about putting in a cup holder. I was about to take it out of hand and I had to catch myself. Overall, I love the way this came out. Definitely served the purpose, and I think I'm gonna enjoy it for quite some time. Well, that is it for this one, and if you ain't already, hey, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and definitely let me know what you think about this project. Hit the thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Talk to you soon.